and the kids are working hard. They're having 6 a.m. practices, and those guys are showing up and running and conditioning and getting after it. And so I really think from the basketball perspective, it's going to be an exciting year for the Bearcats. Wrestling has not started yet because both of our coaches and most of our wrestlers are on the football team. So that'll be kind of a thing of not where we start, but where we finish.
Yeah, let's postpone that wrestling thing as long as we can.
I think Coach Schuler and Coach Belcher are both okay holding that off a few more weeks and see how this run finishes in football.
Yeah, it's going to be, of course, if things shake out the right way, the Cats could be hosting back-to-back playoff games. That's a big jump from not hosting one in almost 15 years right on the dot. So
that would be a great problem to have. So I look forward to Friday night, and I know our kids will be ready to play and put their best foot forward. And I'm sure Marion will come in here ready, feeling like maybe we stole one from them a few weeks ago, but we'll line up. It was a great high school football game, so I look forward to I like our chances.
Yeah, I think we'll have a good game on tap, and of course we hope to see you for the pregame show. Hopefully you won't be too busy.
I will be there.
And people would be surprised at how quick you can get up the steps there to get to our pregame show. You're so excited to be on the pregame show.
If you do see him coming up the steps, someone put a stopwatch on it. It's incredible.
You could probably do that with a sundial. I think we'd be okay. I don't think you need a stopwatch.
Yeah, I saw a flash coming up the steps one day, and I was like, what is it? And then all of a sudden Mr. Harper was next door. So.
That's nice of you guys, but, good thing we're on radio and not on TV. So.
But thank you, Mr. Harper.
Thank you guys for the work you do. Thank you to Buffalo Wild Wings for hosting us. Again, another great crowd here this evening, and they do a lot for our program. If I could take just a moment, they will be the sponsor. Buffalo Wild Wings will be the sponsor of our girls basketball tournament coming up in December. They signed on for that this week, and we really appreciate that. The Coach Battler Lee Foundation is going to sponsor our boys tournament. And then since we are talking a little bit about winter sports, it doesn't affect Bearcats so much. But in January, we're going to have a 2-night event, January 22nd and 23rd, where we'll have 8 high school prep teams from across the Southeast in the Bearcat Den, Oak Hill Academy, Huntington Prep, Mountain Mission out of Grundy, Taze Valley Christian out of West Virginia, First Love Academy out of Pennsylvania, Hamilton Heights out of Tennessee. It'll be a great 2-night event, which will hopefully have a gym packed. But it should be an exciting time, and we'll have an official press release coming out soon for that. But just since I had the opportunity,
that's a good announcement.
Mark that on your calendar because it's going to be a lot.
Do you have any more announcements pertaining to the playoff game this week other than?
I think we kind of covered everything. Just to remember, all tickets are $7. Hope to see you guys there. I mean, I know that state we don't get to profit from any of that money, but come out. Our guys have worked really hard to put themselves in this position, and so please come out and support them.
So hopefully have a big crowd coming out to Gene Malcolm, or as Mark now calls it, the Gene.
And it's stuck, so I love it.
It has stuck. So we'll go to a quick commercial break, and it looks like Coach Chris must have got lost. We'll get him here eventually. He's here. I better not talk about him. He's out there. We'll get him up here in just a second. We'll get Coach Chris to come up and join us. Thank you, Mr. Harper. Give him a round of applause, everybody, and we'll be right back with Bearcat football coach Mike Christ.
You're listening to Virginia High football on Bearcat Radio on Spreaker.com. Bearcat Radio is brought to you by State Line Motors. Visit State Line Motors on Euclid Avenue in Bristol.
Hi, I'm Dustin Lynch. You don't have to listen to country music to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you just can't control, like your girlfriend running out on you with your best friend. But there's some drama that you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and start moving towards a brighter future and even your college degree.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Follow Bearcat Radio on Twitter with the handle @VHS Bearcat Radio and on Facebook by searching Bearcat Radio for the upcoming broadcast schedule and shows on the flagship stream of Virginia High School athletics. You're listening to the best high school football in the Tri-Cities on the Bearcat Sports Radio Network.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Bearcat Radio is brought to you by State Line Motors. Visit State Line Motors on Euclid Avenue in Bristol. You're listening to Virginia High Football on Bearcat Radio on Spreaker.com. You're listening to Virginia High Bearcat Football on Spreaker Radio.
Welcome back to Bearcat Sports Chat. Happy to be joined by Coach Christ up here now with us. And let's go ahead and start now with the last game recap. Of course, the trip over to Richlands, 12-7 loss in that low-scoring affair. It was really a defensive showdown over in Coal Country as they held each other scoreless in the first quarter before Richlands knocked a 42-yard field goal through to take a 3-0 lead going into half. Virginia High got on the board at the 8-minute mark of the third quarter. Alex Adkins took a misdirection handoff to the right side, broke loose from 55 yards out. Good blocking on that play to get him into the end zone, and it was 7-3 Cats. And then with their backs against the wall, Richlands went to its power running attack, crafted a 10-play, 55-yard scoring drive, 4-yard touchdown rush by their quarterback on a draw with close to 10 minutes to go there in the fourth quarter. 10-7, Richlands led at that point. And then less than a minute later, Richlands forced a safety, take a 12-7 lead. The Cats on that ensuing possession would push the ball near midfield with 4 minutes to go, but of course failed to convert a 4th and 1, and the Blue Tornado took the ball and held on to it for the rest of the ball game. So, Coach, tough loss last week, but what are some things you take away from that game at Richlands?
As I told the kids after the game, no reason to hang our heads. It's a tough-fought ball game, playing against a good team with a really good defense. We just came up a little bit short. Needed to make a couple plays that we to come out on top. Those didn't happen, but as I told them, hey, no tears. We're going to flip this switch really quickly, and, our focus is on the playoffs. It didn't affect our seeding. So, again, I thought we played incredibly hard. We just came up short, needed to make a couple more plays that didn't come through for us. And, that's kind of the end of the story. I thought our defense was great once again. It was a really good front seven that they have defensively, gave us some problems. We feel basically we turned that script. We learned from it, made some adjustments for the future, and rolled on.
So we all know that you go back and watch a lot of film. After going back last week, who really stood out to you?
I think I think our defensive line play was really good. Linebacker play was good. Really, our entire defense, secondary played well. And again, overall effort was there. Just kind of didn't hit a few deep balls there. Missed by a couple inches. It's a totally different ball game if we hit those. I thought he threw a beautiful corner pass. Left one deep ball short. Those things happen. You hit those, totally different ball game.
And Coach, talking about the defense playing so well this late in the year, how reassuring is that? Since you're on the offensive side most of the time, how reassuring is it, or defensive side? How reassuring is it for them to be playing as well as they are?
I think it's just confidence. I think as much as anything, we know that defense is effort. And if you give great effort, you're going to get to the ball and make plays. You're going to miss some tackles here and there. But if you're swarming, then that's the difference in being an okay defense in high school and being a great defense.
So had success there in that second half in that diamond formation package. It led to the Alex Adkins touchdown run. Did you see something at halftime that led to that package? Or
Coach Amberg, he felt like we needed to come out in our rifle package, and we did. We were able to get a play on it. Little misdirection there, and certainly when Alex can get in the open, he can run. So that was a big play for us. But again, that front seven was good. We need to make an adjustment or two moving forward in what we do for the future in case we see that type of box again.
So you said last week a couple of plays we were just a block short from breaking loose. Did you feel the same this week?
Yeah, I think we didn't play quite as well this week up front as we had previously. But at the same time, it was one thing here, one thing there. Again, adjustment or two, getting back in our grooves, playing a little bit faster, getting a little better tempo to us. I think is those things. There's no wholesale changes you make at this point in the year. We feel like we have good people up front. Wasn't our best game, but tip your hat to them a little bit too. It's a good front.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is it wasn't your best game, but only a 5-point loss to again a very talented team.
Definitely wasn't the outcome that you wanted last Friday. What was the mood and the message that you gave your team in the locker room?
Just what I said. I said, hey, we're not going to hang our heads. It's time to flip the switch really fast and focus our attention on the playoffs. Didn't affect our seeding. We lost by 5 to a good team and didn't play our best football game. Again, we connect a few different things here or there. It's an entirely different ball game. It didn't work out that way. Game of inches, and we fell a few inches short.
And now it's time to move on to the opponent scouting report. Again, someone we're very familiar with, the 8-2 Marion Scarlet Hurricanes out of our very own Southwest District. These teams have played 17 times since '99. Marion 8-7 against Virginia High in that time span. They started the year 8-0 for the first time since 1987. Of course, that changed 2 weeks ago when Marion came to Gene Malcolm, 13-7 win for the Cats. And then, of course, they're coming off a 30-22 loss to a very good Graham team. So they're coming off a pretty great game there just over the mountain from us at Graham. So a lot to look at there from the way their offense came around. Their head coach, Joey Carroll's in his 7th season, 43-34 overall record. They're averaging 32 points per game, allowing 18. And, again, they'll run that spread offense and play mainly a 3-4 on the defensive side. A lot of shotgun in the offense as well. So, Coach, this is a very familiar opponent for the playoff game. Do you consider it easier or more challenging to play the same team again?
I don't know that I look at it either way. I think there's parts to it make it easier because you're familiar with them. So sometimes that puts you, as I told the kids, sometimes you start on Monday and there's still kinks to work out in your game plan. Well, you kind of get to say square 3 by Tuesday. And, I felt like we started about square 7 this Monday because you'd been through those kinks. Do you have to make adjustments off of what you saw in that game, our game personally, and the following week when they play Graham? Sure you do. And you make those adjustments, but you kind of have that baseline already there. So I wouldn't necessarily say easier. I'd just say you iron out the kinks a lot sooner.
I'm sure Coach Sidner is very excited to get Marion again. As much of a film junkie, I'm sure he's got every formation, every play they've ran over the past 3 weeks.
Sure he does.
He's got a Disney movie on those guys. From the defensive perspective, you guys have really been showing out on that side of the ball the last few weeks. What do you think Marion changes in their offensive scheme coming into this week?
We'll find out Friday. Certainly we have some ideas of changes and adjustments that they may have, and we prepared for them. But those will stay in the game plan. They won't go online over the airwaves. We'll keep those to ourselves.
Hey, it had to be asked, right? So that's
Absolutely.
What we're here for.
Hey, you got to ask. I just don't have to answer.
That's in a vanilla folder somewhere in Gene. Is that where that's at?
That was a juke right there for you. So, Coach, how has the preparation gone for this week with the team? I know Coach Sidner, when we interviewed him the week before the Marion game, he said it was a very good week of prep. How's this week gone? What was the emphasis this week in practice? And how are we on the injury front? So a 3-parter there.
I got you. Well, good. Great week of practice. We haven't had a bad week yet. I thought Tuesday was the best practice of the entire football season. We backed off a little bit today. We had just a really, really great and spirited and physical practice yesterday. Not to the ground, but guys were just really getting after it. That group up front, that offensive line, I think Coach Belcher lit a little bit of fire there. this week. They were rolling yesterday.